They sleep, you carry them, heavy burden. God sees tonight. Stop. Freeze exactly where you are, and do not look away from these words tonight, for the window of heaven is opening over your weary head before you even think of closing your eyes. You're wondering how this is so specific, how I could possibly know the exact rhythm of your heartbeat in this silent hour. But I have seen you sitting there in the charcoal black of the late night, when the rest of the world has surrendered to slumber. You have been waking at 3 a.m., with a racing heart and thoughts that feel like a storm you cannot outrun. And you have felt that heavy pressure in your chest, as if you are carrying the weight of 1,000 souls who do not even know your name. God says the cycle of the solitary carrier ends tonight, and you are not allowed to carry this suffocating weight into the light of tomorrow morning. This is your divine threshold, a warning red signal that the path you have been walking, the one where you are everyone's strength and no one's priority, has reached its absolute limit. Before we go a single step further into this revelation, you must seal this timing window, so the enemy of your soul cannot snatch the peace that is about to be poured into your spirit. Comment the word "sealed" right now, in this very moment. Then reply to your own comment with the word "received" to acknowledge that you are standing at the gates of your new season. Finally, find one other person in the comments who is also awake in this heavy hour and reply to them with these words: "I'm standing with you." Do not delay this act of alignment. The connection you forge in this moment is the first crack in the wall of isolation that has surrounded you for far too long. Hear this: I have seen you in the quiet kitchen, when the only sound is the hum of the refrigerator and the ticking of a clock that seems to be mocking your exhaustion. I have seen you standing at the window, looking out into the charcoal black night, wondering if anyone truly understands the depth of the exhaustion that has settled into your very bones. You are the chosen one, the one who was built to endure. But even the strongest pillars require a foundation that is not made of their own grit. You have been carrying the quiet burden, the unspoken anxieties of your family, the hidden brokenness of your friends, and the spiritual weight of a calling that feels more like a sentence than a blessing tonight. But tonight, the Creator of the stars is leaning down to whisper into your spirit that your tiredness is not a sign of failure. It is the physical proof of your calling. You are exhausted because you have been functioning as a bridge for others to cross. But you were never meant to be a bridge that stays suspended over the abyss forever. God says you are approaching a turning point that requires you to drop the lead weights you have picked up from people who were too lazy to carry their own. There is a warning red light flashing over your current schedule, over your current mental state, and over the way you have been neglecting the sanctuary of your own soul. You have been walking through the charcoal black valley for months, perhaps years, thinking that if you just worked a little harder, or prayed a little longer, the heaviness would lift. But the heaviness is a signal, a divine tap on the shoulder, telling you that the season of the carrier is being upgraded to the season of the commander. You cannot command the morning if you are being crushed by the night. Tonight, before you sleep, there is a mandate being issued from the throne of grace to strip away every garment of should and must that was never tailored for your shoulders. You feel that tightness in your jaw, don't you? That ache in your shoulders that no amount of rest seems to touch. That is the physical manifestation of the spiritual armor you have been wearing for far too long. You have been in battle mode for so many years that you have forgotten how to exist in the atmosphere of peace. You are the one everyone calls when the world falls apart, the one who stays calm while everyone else panics, the one who dries the tears while your own eyes remain burning and dry. You are the carrier of the quiet burden, and you have played the role so well that everyone around you thinks you are invincible. They think you don't need the support because you never ask for it. They think you are okay because you always say you are. But God says, I see the marrow of your soul, and I see that you are running on the fumes of your own willpower. This ends tonight. Imagine a path through a dense forest draped in charcoal black shadows where the air is thick and hard to breathe. This has been your internal landscape. You have been navigating this terrain alone, thinking that your isolation was a requirement of your strength. You thought that being the chosen one meant being the lonely one. But look ahead. Do you see that warning red glow on the horizon? It is not the fire of destruction, but the fire of the altar. It is the boundary line that says, no further. You are not allowed to take the resentment, the fatigue, or the silent tears of this past season into the morning that is coming. You are being asked to stand at this threshold and make a choice. Will you continue to be the beast of burden for those who refuse to walk? Or will you step into the authority of the one who leads them by example? Hear this. This is your confirmation that the sudden tears that come while you are driving alone, or the numb feeling in your hands when you realize how much is expected of you, are not signs of a breakdown. They are signs of a breakthrough. The pressure you feel is the pressure of a diamond being formed, but the formation process is reaching its conclusion. God says, I am not asking you to be stronger. I am asking you to be more surrendered. The strength you have been using is human strength, and it has reached its natural expiration date. The strength I am giving you tonight is divine endurance, but it can only inhabit the spaces where you let go of your self-reliance. You have been carrying everyone without a support system, acting as the foundation for houses you didn't even build. You have been the listening ear for those who never ask how you are doing. You have been the financial or emotional safety net for people who don't even realize they are falling because you catch them so softly. You are the carrier of the quiet burden. And tonight the burden is being weighed in the scales of heaven. God says the weight is too much for a mortal frame, and I never intended for you to carry it without me. The charcoal black night is the canvas upon which I am drawing the blueprint for your rest. You are being called to a place of stillness that feels dangerous to you because you have associated busyness with safety for so long. Do you feel that shift? That slight cooling of the air in your room, that is the signal yellow of confirmation. It is the sense that something is finally being acknowledged. You aren't crazy for feeling this tired. You aren't weak for wanting to walk away from it all. You are simply at the end of a cycle. Tonight, before the stars fade, you must realize that your value is not tied to your utility. You are not a tool to be used until you break. You are a child to be loved until you are whole. The warning red light is telling you to stop trying to fix things that I have already decided to let break. Some things in your life are falling apart because they were never part of the divine architecture of your future. They were just the scaffolding of your past. As you sit there, perhaps, with your head in your hands, or staring at the screen with eyes that long for rest, understand that this message is a divine interruption. It is a sovereign intervention into your exhaustion. God says, I have timed this perfectly so that it reaches you in the very moment your spirit was about to give up. You thought no one saw the way you sighed when you closed the door. You thought no one heard the silent prayer for help that you didn't even have words for. But I was there in the charcoal black, and I am here now as the signal yellow light begins to dawn in your heart. You are the chosen one, and your assignment is shifting from the one who does everything to the one who represents me. The pressure in your chest is beginning to lift, even as you hear these words, because you are finally giving yourself permission to admit how heavy the load has been. You have been carrying the weight of generational patterns, trying to be the one who breaks the curse, the one who makes the money, the one who heals the trauma. And you have done a magnificent job, but you cannot carry the finish line on your back while you are still running the race. Tonight, before you sleep, you are being invited to leave the quiet burden at the foot of the throne. You are being told that you are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to be human. God says, hear this. The people who have been leaning on you will not fall if you step away to rest. They will finally learn how to stand on their own feet. Your overfunctioning has been preventing their growth, and your exhaustion has been the price of their comfort. The warning red threshold is here to remind you that your first responsibility is to the life I gave you, not the lives you're trying to save for everyone else. You cannot pour from a vessel that is cracked and dry. Tonight is the night of the great refilling. But before the oil can be poured in, the dregs of the old wine must be poured out. You must pour out the guilt you feel for being tired. You must pour out the shame you feel for wanting to be taken care of for once. Think of the charcoal black as the soil. You have been buried under the expectations of others, feeling the cold, heavy earth pressing in on all sides. You thought you were being buried, but God says you were being planted. And a seed cannot sprout until it reaches the point where it can no longer contain the life within it. You are at that point. The pressure you feel is the pressure of the sprout breaking through the shell. The exhaustion is the energy required for the transformation. You are not dying. You are transitioning. But you must not carry the shell into the sunlight. You must leave the old identity of the exhausted carrier in the dark of tonight. You're wondering how this is so specific, how I could know about the way you've been clenching your teeth in your sleep, or the way you feel a sudden wave of isolation even when you're in a room full of people. It is because I am the one who knit your spirit together, and I know that you were never designed to be a solitary island of strength. You were designed to be part of a flow, a river of grace that moves through you, not a reservoir that's stagnant and heavy. The warning red is flashing because if you don't change your pace tonight, the vessel will shatter. And I love the vessel too much to let it be destroyed by the very work I called it to do. God says, look at your hands. They have been busy doing the work of 3 people. They have been holding up the world, wiping away tears, fixing problems, and holding on to things that I told you to let go of months ago. Tonight, open those hands. Let the charcoal black of the past slip through your fingers. Let the warning red of the emergency you've been living in fade into the background. There is a signal yellow clarity coming to you, a quiet voice that will tell you exactly what to say no to tomorrow morning. You don't have to figure it all out right now. You just have to agree that you can't go on like this. The isolation you feel is a divine hedge. I have pulled you away from the noise so that you could hear this message. I have allowed the silence to become heavy so that you would seek the only voice that can truly lighten your load. You are the carrier of the quiet burden, but I am the carrier of the universe, and I am offering you an exchange. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. But to take it, you must put down the one you fashioned for yourself out of the bricks of not good enough and the mortar of it's all up to me. Hear this, your strength has become your stumbling block. You are so good at being strong that you have forgotten how to be vulnerable with the Father. You have been presenting a finished version of yourself to the world, while your interior is a construction site of fatigue. God says, come to me as you are exhausted, alert in spirit, but heavy in body, lonely in the midst of your success. The charcoal black night is not your enemy. It is your sanctuary. It is the place where the labels fall off, but you are just mine. As you prepare to close this day, do not think about the list for tomorrow. Do not think about the people who will be waiting for you to solve their problems. Think only about the fact that tonight, the divine scribe is recording your release. The warning red of your burnout is being extinguished by the cool water of my presence. You are being sealed in a new identity. You're no longer the one who carries it all. You are the one who is carried by me. You feel that peace starting to settle, don't you? A small signal yellow spark in the center of your chest. It's the realization that you don't have to have it all together. You are allowed to be the one who needs help. You are allowed to let the ball drop. The world will not stop spinning if the chosen one takes a breath. In fact, the world will finally see the God you serve when they see how He sustains you in your rest, not just in your labor. This is the end of the first watch of the night, and the message is only beginning to penetrate the layers of your heart. The charcoal black is deep, and the warning red is bright, and the transition is mid-arc. You are standing in the middle of a bridge, and I am showing you that the other side is not more of the same. The other side of this exhaustion is a power you have never tapped into, the power of rested authority. But you are not there yet. You are still in the process of letting go. You are still feeling the ghost weight of the burdens you just dropped. God says, do not reach back for them. Do not check your phone to see who needs you. Do not mentally rehearse the arguments or the explanations. Just be. Be the one who is seen. Be the one who is known. Be the one who is loved without having to do a single thing to earn it. The silence of this house, the heaviness of your spirit, the alertness of your mind, all of it is being gathered into a divine purpose that will be revealed as the night progresses. You are mid-transition, suspended between the person you were and the person you are becoming. Stay here in this holy tension for a moment. Do not rush to the end. The work of tonight is not about completion. It is about the courage to stop. Hear this. The most prophetic thing you can do tonight is to admit that you are at the end of yourself. For when you are at the end of yourself, you are at the beginning of me. The warning. Red light is not a stop sign for your destiny. It is a stop sign for your self-destruction. And as you sit there in the charcoal black, I want you to feel the presence of the one who walked on the water in the middle of the storm while the disciples were exhausted from rowing. I am in the boat with you, and I am not asking you to row harder. I am asking you to let me speak to the wind. The quiet burden you have been carrying is being transformed into a loud testimony. But for the testimony to be heard, the burden must be dropped. You are holding your breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for the next crisis, waiting for the next person to need you. God says, breathe. Exhale the charcoal black smoke of your anxiety. Inhale the signal yellow light of my peace. You are being held. You are being watched over. The stars are not more secure in their orbits than you are in my hand tonight. You are the carrier, yes, but tonight you are the carried. And as the night deepens and the silence becomes even more profound, you will begin to understand that your exhaustion was the only way I could get you to stop long enough to hear what I have to say about who you really are. You are not a machine. You are not a slave. You are the chosen one, and your rest is a weapon that the enemy cannot stand. Stay in this moment. The arc is not yet finished. The turning point is still turning. The heavy air is beginning to move, and the pressure in your chest is finding a release valve. You are standing at the threshold of a morning that will look nothing like the mornings of your past. But for now, just stay here in the night, in the charcoal black, in the warning red, in the signal yellow. And know that I am God, and I have seen it all. The charcoal black of this hour is not merely a backdrop. It is a laboratory of the soul where the old you is being dismantled so the true you can finally breathe. You are sitting in the stillness of tonight, and though the world thinks you are resting, your mind is a beehive of unresolved patterns and the echoes of voices that have demanded too much of you for too long. Hear this: the reason you feel so alert, so hyper-aware of every shadow and every creak in the floorboards is because your spirit knows that a divine pivot is occurring before the clock strikes a new day. You have been living in a state of high alert for years, a warning red existence, where you are always waiting for the next emergency, the next phone call that brings bad news, the next person to fail you. But God says, I am rewriting your nervous system tonight so that peace is no longer a foreign country to you, but your native land. Consider the arena of your closest relationships, those intimate spaces where you have become the fixer by default. You have walked through the hallway of your home tonight, looking at the doors behind which your loved ones sleep. And you have felt a strange mixture of fierce love and agonizing resentment. You love them, but you are tired of being the only one who keeps the roof from caving in. You are the one who remembers the bills, the one who manages the emotions, the one who hides your own pain so they don't have to deal with it. This is your confirmation that I have seen the way you swallowed your own words at the dinner table tonight just to keep the peace. I have seen the way you retreated into the charcoal black of your own thoughts because there was no room for your feelings in the conversation. God says you are not a martyr for people who are capable of helping themselves. And tonight, I am stripping away the false obligation that has kept you chained to their growth instead of your own. Imagine a forge where the heat is a warning red glow that illuminates the dark corners of the workshop. For a long time, you have felt like the metal being struck by the hammer. Every trial, every disappointment, every betrayal has felt like a blow intended to break you. But look closer in the signal yellow light of this revelation, and the hammer was not meant to break the metal. It was meant to knock off the dross, the impurities, the parts of you that were built on the expectations of others. You are being refined tonight into a vessel that can carry the weight of my glory without being crushed by the weight of human need. The mechanism of your transformation is not more effort. It is deeper subtraction. I am taking away the things you thought you needed: the approval of the ungrateful, the security of the familiar, the comfort of the mediocre. Before you sleep tonight, you must realize that the loss you have been mourning was actually a divine rescue. You've been wondering how this is so specific, as if I have been reading the very journal entries you were too tired to write. It is because I have been standing in the charcoal black, with you marking every sigh and every silent plea for a way out. God says the way out is not a change of scenery, but a change of sovereignty. You have been the king or queen of your own survival, but you were never meant to rule a kingdom of exhaustion. Tonight, as you feel that familiar racing in your heart, I want you to visualize yourself handing over the keys to the city. Hand over the keys to your finances, your health, your children, and your reputation. The warning: red light is a signal that you are entering a restricted area where only my grace can operate. You have gone as far as your own strength can take you, and to go any further would be to invite a collapse that I love you too much to permit. Let us look into the micro scene of your workplace, or the place where you exert your daily effort. Even there, in the bright lights and the noise, you carry the charcoal black of your exhaustion like a hidden garment. You are the one who does the work of 3 people, the one who stays late, the one who catches the mistakes before they become disasters. And yet, you feel invisible. You feel like a ghost in your own life, a phantom that performs tasks but is never truly seen. Hear this: your invisibility has been a protection, not a punishment. I have kept you hidden in the shadows of the charcoal black because I was preparing you for a stage that you are not yet ready to stand upon. If I had given you the recognition you craved while you were still carrying the quiet burden of your own ego, The weight of the spotlight would have destroyed you. But tonight, the signal yellow of a new kind of visibility is beginning to dawn. You are being seen by the only one whose gaze matters, and my approval is the only currency that will buy your freedom from the need to please men. You feel a tight jaw and a heavy stomach tonight because you are holding on to a tomorrow that hasn't even happened yet. You are pre-worrying about problems that I have already solved in the charcoal black of my secret counsels. God says the mechanism of my providence moves fastest when you are at a standstill. When you stop trying to manipulate the outcome, when you stop trying to force the door open, when you stop trying to convince people of your worth, that is when I move. The warning red threshold you are standing on is a boundary between the handmade life and the heaven-sent life. You have been living a handmade life where everything you have is the result of your own grinding and striving. It is a life that is fragile and exhausting. Tonight, I am inviting you into the heaven-sent life, where the resources find you, where the people find you, and where the rest finds you. Consider the analogy of the ship in the middle of a charcoal black storm. The sailors are exhausted, their hands are raw from pulling the ropes, and their hearts are failing them for fear. They think the storm is the enemy. But what if the storm was the only thing that could blow them off the course that was leading to their destruction? What if the storm was the wind of my spirit, forcing you away from the harbor of your own limitations? You have been fighting the wind tonight, trying to steer back to what you know. But the warning red light on your compass is telling you that the old north is gone. I am your new north. I am the signal yellow light on the horizon that you cannot yet see, but can feel in the warming of your spirit. God says, stop rowing. Let the wind of this crisis, this exhaustion, and this isolation blow you to the place I have prepared for you. It is a place where you will not have to carry the world, because you will finally realize that the world is being carried by me. There is a specific memory coming to your mind tonight, a moment from months or years ago, when you felt a similar weight, but you pushed through it. You ignored the warning red signs then, and you survived, but you didn't thrive. You just became more skilled at being tired. You became a professional at being empty. God says, I am not allowing you to push through tonight. This is a mandatory stop. The charcoal black is too thick for you to navigate with your own dim lamp. You must wait for the signal yellow dawn. This is your confirmation that the stagnation you have been feeling is actually a divine pause. You are not stuck. You are being recalibrated. The numb hands you feel are a sign that the old work is over. Your hands are being emptied so they can be filled with something that doesn't require you to clench your fists to keep it. You're wondering how this is so specific, especially when it comes to the heavy stomach and the feeling of dread that hits you right before you try to sleep. It is because that dread is the voice of the old you trying to convince you that if you let go, everything will fall apart. But hear this, the only things that will fall apart are the things that were already broken. The things that were built on the charcoal black foundation of fear cannot stand in the signal yellow light of the truth. God says, let them fall. Let the relationships that only exist because you do all the work crumble. Let the opportunities that require you to sacrifice your soul vanish. Let the reputation you built on the lies of perfection be tarnished. I am clearing the ground tonight so that I can build something that will last for eternity. You are the chosen one, and your life is not a monument to your own effort. It is a temple for my presence. Think of the silence in your room tonight as a physical substance. In the charcoal black, the silence can feel like a predator, a space where all your failures and all your what-ifs come out to hunt you. But I am reclaiming the silence tonight. I am making the silence a sanctuary. Instead of hearing the accusations of the enemy, I want you to hear the heartbeat of the Father. Hear this, you are loved not for what you do, but for whose you are. The warning red light is a hedge of protection around your identity. I am guarding you from the voices that tell you that you are only as good as your last performance. You are the carrier of the quiet burden, but I am the giver of the quiet peace. Tonight, before the morning breaks, there is a deep work being done in the hidden parts of your soul, the parts you don't even have words for. God says, I am addressing the generational exhaustion that flows through your bloodline. You are not just carrying your own burdens. You are carrying the unfinished business of your ancestors. You are trying to succeed where they failed to be happy, where they were miserable to be free, where they were bound. And you have felt the charcoal black weight of their expectations pressing down on your shoulders. But tonight I am severing the cord. You are the one who breaks the cycle not by working harder, but by surrendering completely. The warning red is a bloodline that says the past stops here. The signal yellow is the light of a new lineage, one that starts with you and is defined by the ease of my spirit. You don't have to carry them anymore. You just have to be the one who finally let go. Look at the micro scene of your phone, that device that has become a portal for the demands of the world. Even tonight, you feel the urge to check it to see if someone needs you, to see if there is a new fire to put out. God says, put the phone down. The world will not end if you are unavailable for a few hours. The warning red light on that screen is a distraction from the signal yellow light in your soul. You have become addicted to being needed because it makes you feel like you have a purpose. But your purpose is not to be a 24-hour emergency room for people who refuse to take their medicine. Your purpose is to be a son or daughter who knows how to sit at the table. Tonight the table is spread in the presence of your enemies. The enemies of anxiety, fatigue, and isolation. And the first thing on the menu is rest. You feel that racing thought pattern again, don't you? The one where you try to plan out the next 6 months because you can't trust the next 6 hours. God says the charcoal black night is the only time I have your undivided attention. In the signal yellow light of the day, you are too busy being the chosen one to actually talk to the one who chose you. But here in the stillness, the masks come off. The warning red labels of strong, dependable, and reliable are stripped away, and you are just a child who is tired. And I say to you, it is okay to be tired. It is okay to not know what to do next. It is okay to feel like you have nothing left to give. In fact, that is exactly where I want you. Because when you have nothing left to give, you finally have the capacity to receive. Hear this, the mechanism of your promotion is your exhaustion. Most people think they get promoted when they are at their strongest, but in my kingdom, you get promoted when you are at your weakest. For my power is made perfect in weakness. The charcoal black you are walking through is not a graveyard. It is a birth canal. You are being squeezed and pressured and pushed, and it feels like the end. But the warning red is just the color of the blood that brings life. The signal yellow is the first glimpse of the world outside the womb of your current circumstances. You are being born into a new level of authority, but you cannot bring the old umbilical cord of self-reliance with you. It must be cut tonight. As the middle of the night approaches, the charcoal black seems to deepen, but so does the intensity of my presence. You are not alone in this room. You are not alone in this struggle. You are the chosen one, and I have surrounded you with a cloud of witnesses who are cheering for you to finally lay the burden down. The warning red light is not a threat. It is a salute to your endurance. You have fought the good fight. You have finished this particular course. Now it is time for the transition. You are mid-arc, suspended between the who you were and the who you are becoming. The pressure in your chest is the air of the new season trying to find a way into your lungs. Breathe it in. God says, I am speaking to the part of you that feels like a failure because you can't keep all the plates spinning anymore. I am telling you that I am the one who is breaking the plates. I am the one who is causing the system to crash. I am doing it because the system you built was a cage, and I want you to fly. The charcoal black is the vastness of the sky, and the signal yellow is the sun that is about to rise on a life where you are no longer the carrier, but the co-pilot. You have been flying this plane alone in the dark, and you are running out of fuel. Tonight, I am taking the controls. I am guiding you to a landing strip you didn't even know existed. You're wondering how this is so specific, how I could know about the numbness in your hands, and the way you've been staring at the same spot on the wall for 20 minutes. It is because I am the architect of your moments, and I have choreographed this encounter to happen before you sleep. I am anchoring the timing window of tonight as a permanent marker in your history. From this night forward, you will look back at the charcoal black and see it not as a time of darkness, but as the time of the great exchange. You will see the warning red as the fire that consumed your chains, and you will see the signal yellow as the path that led you home to yourself. The arc is still moving. The story is still unfolding. You are in the middle of a divine sentence, and I have not yet put the period. The weight you feel is the weight of the ink as I write the next chapter on the tablets of your heart. It is a chapter of favor, of unmerited help, and of a strength that does not come from your bones, but from my breath. Stay in the charcoal black a little longer. Let the warning red do its work of refining. The signal yellow is coming, but for now, the transition is the destination. You are being transformed in the middle of the night, in the middle of the silence, in the middle of the I can't do this anymore. Hear this, I have already gone into your tomorrow and cleared the path. The things you were dreading have been redirected. The people you were afraid of facing have been silenced. The bills you didn't know how to pay have been factored into my economy. You don't have to carry the how tonight. You only have to carry the who. And the who is me. The charcoal black is my shadow, and you are hiding under the shadow of my wings. There is no safer place in the universe than the place of total exhaustion that leads to total surrender. You feel the shift in your spirit, a subtle turning of the tide. The warning red is fading into a softer hue. The pressure in your chest is becoming a warmth. You are beginning to realize that the chosen one is not the one who does the most, but the one who trusts the most. God says, I am proud of you. Not for the things you've accomplished, but for the fact that you are still standing. And tonight, I am giving you permission to sit down. I am giving you permission to let go. I am giving you permission to be small so that I can be big on your behalf. The charcoal black night is your witness. The warning red stars are your testimony. The signal yellow dawn is your destiny. But we are not at the dawn yet. We are in the holy middle. We are in the place where the miracle is being knit together in the secret places of the earth. You are the chosen one. And tonight is the night your burden becomes my bridge. Stay here. Stay present. The arc is not finished. The signal yellow light is no longer a distant flicker on the horizon. It is beginning to flood the room of your spirit tonight before you even lay your head upon the pillow for the final rest of this cycle. This is your confirmation that the transition is complete, and the charcoal black of your heavy endurance is being bleached white by the purity of a new purpose. You're wondering how this is so specific, how I could know that your breathing has finally slowed, and the racing in your mind has turned into a rhythmic hum of anticipation. It is because the window of heaven has moved from a crack to a wide open portal, and tonight, before the first bird sings its greeting to the sun, you are being established in a peace that the world cannot give and certainly cannot take away. God says, look at the floor of your life. Do you see the shadows retreating? That is not just the passing of time. That is the moving of my hand, sweeping away the debris of the year you just survived so that you can walk on a clean path tomorrow morning. Hear this, the signal yellow frequency is the frequency of clarity, and it is washing over your eyes tonight to remove the scales of confusion. You have spent so much time in the warning red of emergency that your vision had become blurred by the smoke of constant fires. But tonight the smoke is clearing. You will wake up tomorrow with a sense of knowing that you haven't possessed in a decade. You will know what to say to the person who has been draining your energy. You will know which project to put down and which seed to water. You will know with a quiet and unshakable certainty that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. God says the direction you have been seeking is not found in a map, but in the stillness of this very moment. The signal yellow light is your internal compass being calibrated to the magnetic north of my will. As you sit there, feeling the last of the charcoal black weight evaporate from your shoulders, I want you to visualize the micro scene of your morning tomorrow. You will see the sun hitting the window in a way you haven't noticed in years. The light will feel like a physical touch, a signal yellow embrace from the Father who saw you through the night. This is your sign that the quiet burden has been fully exchanged for the divine mandate. You are no longer the one who carries. You are the one who is commissioned. God says the strength you will feel tomorrow is not the adrenaline of a survivor, but the steady power of a sovereign. You will move through your day with a grace that confuses your enemies and comforts your friends. The tight jaw you have lived with for months is loosening tonight because the word no has become a tool of protection in your hand rather than a source of guilt in your heart. Hear this. I am giving you a concrete step for the next 24 hours to seal this transformation. Tomorrow, within the first hour of your awakening, you will find a quiet place to stand for exactly 3 minutes. You will not check your phone. You will not listen to music, and you will not plan your list. You will simply stand in the signal yellow light of the morning and say these words out loud. I am the chosen one, and I no longer carry what does not belong to me. As you speak those words, you will feel the last tether to the charcoal black season snap. This is your identity seal. This is the moment your spirit fully inhabits the new territory I have conquered for you. God says this simple act of vocalized surrender will release a wave of favor into your afternoon, and that will bring a solution to a problem you thought would take months to resolve. The signal yellow is now the dominant color of your atmosphere tonight before you sleep. It is the color of the letter that is coming in the mail, the color of the unexpected phone call that brings good news, and the color of the idea that will generate the resources you need for your next step. You have been worried about the warning red of lack, but I am showing you the signal yellow of abundance. It is not the loud, frantic abundance of the world. It is the quiet, overflowing abundance of the kingdom. It is the just enough that becomes more than enough because it is blessed by my hand. God says, stop looking at the empty jars and start looking at the oil that is already flowing. The flow started the moment you decided to listen to this message tonight. You're wondering how this is so specific, especially the way I'm mentioning the lightness in your stomach that is replacing the dread you've carried for weeks. It is because the signal yellow has a weight of its own, a weight of glory that displaces the weight of worry. You are being anchored in hope tonight. Here, this hope is not a wish. Hope is a confident expectation of good. And tonight, before the world turns over into a new day, your expectation is being shifted. You are no longer expecting the worst. You're expecting the signal yellow. You're expecting the open door. You're expecting the right person to notice your work. You're expecting the healing to manifest in your body. This is your confirmation that the expectant spirit is the receiving spirit. God says, look at your hands one last time tonight. They are no longer numb. They are no longer clenched. They are open and in the signal yellow light, and they look like the hands of a conqueror who has returned from a long and weary war. You have won, chosen one. You have won by staying. You have won by trusting when there was no evidence. You have won by being the carrier of the quiet burden until I told you to put it down. And now, the spoils of the war are being brought to your feet. The signal yellow is the gold of the refined character you have built in the charcoal black. It is the wisdom you have gained in the warning red. It is the authority you have earned in the silence of the night. As the final moments of this timing window approach tonight, before you surrender to the sleep of the redeemed, you must perform the final seal of your identity. This is the moment where you move from a listener to a participant in the divine decree. Comment the word signal right now to acknowledge the light that has dawned in your soul. Then reply to your own comment with the words, I am the new version. This is not just a phrase. It is a legal document in the spirit world. It tells every ancient habit, every ancestral weight, and every demonic shadow that the person they used to haunt no longer exists. Finally, find one person in the comments who is still expressing their exhaustion and reply with, your morning is here. This is the Signal Yellow community, a group of chosen ones who no longer compete for strength, but collaborate in grace. Hear this, I am closing the book on your struggle tonight. The ink is dry. The warning red alerts have all been cleared. The charcoal black clouds have dispersed. What remains is the signal yellow clarity of your calling. You are the chosen one, and you are going to sleep tonight in a different world than the one you woke up in. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, do not look for the old problems. They have been removed. Look for the signal yellow opportunities. They are waiting for you at the foot of your bed. God says, I am your shield. I am your exceeding great reward. And I am the one who has called you by name. You are mine. And tonight, you are finally free. The signal yellow light is now so bright in your spirit that you could almost see it with your physical eyes. It is a warm, golden glow that settles into your chest, right where the pressure used to be. It is the feeling of a job well done. It is the feeling of being understood by the Creator of the universe. It is the feeling of coming home. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to take one deep breath of the signal yellow air. Exhale the last of the charcoal black. Inhale the future. Exhale the past. Inhale the favor. This is your new rhythm. This is your new life. God says you are no longer the victim of your circumstances. You are the master of your soul under my sovereign hand. The signal yellow is the seal of your victory. Go to sleep now, chosen one. The angels have been briefed on your new status. The morning is prepared. The path is clear. The warning red is gone. The charcoal black is a memory. The signal yellow is your reality tonight, tomorrow, and forever. Hear this. This is the final confirmation. Everything you have lost in the charcoal black will be restored in the signal yellow, but in a form that you can actually enjoy. You won't have to work for this restoration. It will be a gift. You won't have to protect this restoration. I will be your wall of fire. You won't have to explain this restoration. The light on your face will be explanation enough. God says the world is about to see what happens when a chosen one finally rests in my power. The signal yellow is not just for you. It is a beacon for everyone who is still lost in the dark. You are becoming the lighthouse you used to look for. As you close your eyes tonight before the morning starts, let the word signal be the last thing on your mind. Let it be the vibration that carries you into the dream state where I will continue to give you the blueprints for your new season. There is no more fear. There is no more isolation. There is only the signal yellow and the infinite love of the one who chose you before the foundation of the world. The transition is finished. The arc is complete. The morning is yours. God says I am with you. I have always been with you. And tonight I am showing you that the with you means you never have to be the only one ever again. You are part of the Signal Yellow Army. You are part of the divine family. You are the chosen one, and your light has come. Sleep in the signal yellow. Wake in the signal yellow. Walk in the signal yellow. For this is the day that the Lord has made, and you, the rested sovereign and clear-eyed you, will rejoice and be glad in it. Hear this one last time tonight. The signal yellow is not a temporary state. It is your new permanent residence. You are moving out of the charcoal black apartments of struggle and into the signal yellow mansion of grace. The keys are in your hand. The door is open. The light is on. Welcome home, chosen one. The night is over, and the morning, the true glorious signal yellow morning, is already here. Tonight, as the silence becomes a song of praise, know that every word of this message has been a seed planted in the signal yellow soil of your destiny. It will grow fast. It will grow strong. It will grow until it covers your entire life with the shade of my protection. God says, I have spoken, and so shall it be. The signal yellow is your seal. The signal yellow is your strength. The signal yellow is your song. Rest now. The signal yellow is watching over you. The signal yellow is preparing your tomorrow. The signal yellow is the love of God made visible in your life tonight. You are the chosen one, and you are finally, beautifully, and sovereignly at peace. Signal yellow, signal yellow, signal yellow. It is done. It is finished. It is yours. Amen.